Hey, I'd like to share a little bit about the CS1 Game Engine with you. It's undergoing a rewrite. Here's a few interesting things. I'm actually doing remote development now through Glitch, and I've broken out the engine into several modules. I'll explain as I go along here. Even publishing to NPM in the Glitch project. So pretty cool stuff. Let me share this with you. So the CS1 engine, if you don't know anything about it, it's a game engine, open source, free and open source game engine that you can just have access to via GitHub, NPM, over at Glitch, probably other places by now. And what you can do is you can create 3D multiplayer VR ready games. If you don't want to do the multiplayer thing nowadays, some people might just want to jump in and just serve something from a static, like a CDN service, and just work with everything single player without having to deal with the server whatsoever. So I've made that also a first-class citizen of this new incarnation of the CS1 game engine. So let's take a look here. On my very kind of like minimal README I have in this document, I want to point this out first. It says, okay, staging. So I have kind of like a staging area as well as a production area. So while we're developing, kind of just put development and staging together rather than separating those out. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future I'll separate those out, but right now I just have staging / development and then production. But let's take a look at this. Staging development minimal HTML example. So as this says, this is a very minimal HTML example. Let's see how fast it takes to load up. And we'll talk about what's in it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, that was fast. That was like a second. And what do we have in a second? We have 40,000 tetrahedra. We have a little cube that's our avatar here. We have this follow camera, and we have this little environment. 40,000 tetrahedra loaded and rendered, a little box for an avatar, and a little follow camera. As a matter of fact, we can even run around and jump up into the sky with this follow cam, following our little avatar. How was it able to do that in about a second? I mean, that seems a little ridiculous, doesn't it? That's a minimal HTML example. How big was that HTML file that got loaded in there? Let's go look. So if we go to public staging min HTML, look at that. Look at that. Make it a little bigger. That's pretty minimal. That's not as small as it can get. I mean, you can literally just throw in the 2 script tags, and that wouldn't be valid HTML. This is perfectly valid HTML, and it will pass all tests. You're like, hold it, that's not valid HTML. Well, here, I'll prove it to you. Here's that. I actually opened it up already, but if we go over here, there's the URL for that minimal example. I can validate it again. The document is valid HTML. ARIA and SVG 1.1 is valid across the board. Very small, right? Look at that, 6 lines. Just very, very small file. So what's going on here? Basically, other than just getting valid HTML, we're bringing in the game engine module, and we're bringing in the actual game code. So all a user would have to do is just bring in the game engine to leverage the wonders of the game engine, and then just add a little bit of code on top of that. Let's go take a look at the code that was added on top of that, this game.js file. So this was actually exported from over here. So if I go to this main game and main.js, you can see that what was there. Don't be thrown off by these little dots here. That's because the CS1's defined outside of the scope. Yeah, so there's like 5 lines here. So we have a couple lines here for adding those 40,000 instances of tetrahedra, right? And then we're kind of adding another line right here to set the ability for the player to jump in a specific jumping speed. And then we add the environment, that little ground environment and sky, and then we start the game. All of that happens. It loads, renders, all of that, 40,000 tetrahedra, gets the module, the player all set up, follow cam, everything in about a second. Not bad. Not bad at all. So let's talk a little bit more about using Glitch to develop different modules. I mean, I am working from Glitch here, and I am exporting out to my GitHub, and I am also publishing NPM modules. Currently I'm just publishing the game server, but I'm publishing it right from Glitch. This right here, I just published this right from Glitch. So it even has links to my home page, the GitHub repository, and has the how to use it and basically what it is. Yeah, literally, just takes seconds. Boom, just like that, and it's published to NPM. How? Okay, how does this happen? So let me kind of jump over here into like the server. The server is the only thing. So the server in the source directory, this is where we're actually building the module, the server module. So over here, if I go to the README here, the README for the server, kind of lays out how to do that, how to do this publishing of these NPM packages from Glitch. So right over here I say, okay, well this first of all just goes into how to use this just goes in how to use the server. I should actually refer to the other section for how to publish. Maybe I should change that. So how to publish. How should I publish a custom version of the server? I should actually move this to the top level. I just realized that. But I'll get to that. Anyway, this shouldn't be right here. It should be like up in this README. But anyway, how do we do this? How do we publish from Glitch to NPM? Well, you create your, first of all, you create your code. You edit the source code. I'm the only maintainer and developer on the entire CS1 system at this point. But if somebody else wanted to fork it, make their own completely independent server kind of based off of it, go for it. Just create an NPM account, create an NPM token. I got links to them. Record your token in the .env file. Create a .mpm.rc file and add that line. Configure the package JSON with your details, like the name, description, and version. All you really need is the name and version. Those are the minimal ones. And then open a terminal and cd into the source server directory, and then run npm publish, and boom, you got your, you got this, man. You've published to npm. You are a package author. You are a library maintainer. All right, so that is pretty cool, right from Glitch, right? So I'm pretty stoked with this whole workflow here. Not because it's the ideal. I would happily just do this on my local machine, but I want to enable other people that don't even have a local machine set up at all, and they don't have to even go through the whole process of getting their local machine set up. They can just go to Glitch, and then they can author npm packages. Just follow this basic workflow. So I think that's pretty darn cool. I'm happy with what's going on here. The server, let's actually look at the live server, how that's done. So if I go over here, here's the live server that's running. Require CS1 game server start. Oh my gosh. That is literally it. You don't need anything else. It will even, that right there, require CS1 game server dot start, that one line for the server because there's Express is one of the dependencies, so it's already taking care of the root Express endpoint, and there's also even a couple other services endpoints, kind of revisiting some of the architecture. But one line, the server, require the server, start, boom. That's it. That's all that's running right here. Because if you look at the top level package JSON in this right here, start is node, and then the server directory, server.js. You can see I got a lot of scripts over here for building stuff. I'm not going to go into that now. If you're really interested in doing this, it's so easy. It is so darn easy to manage now. I am so glad I finally got this set up. It's so easy, to look at and understand so much with such little mental stress. There is absolutely no kind of stressing out over, no complexity here to really have to contend with, because it's so nicely organized. I have a lot of things I haven't done yet. Obviously, I'm just publishing the CS1 Game Server module to npm, but I'll just set up the same workflow for the rest of the modules. I'll set up the same workflow for the game module and for the engine module, so people can actually publish their games as well. They can publish their entire game. Oh my gosh, it's so cool, to npm, and then they could just bring in their game, and they can publish their game as kind of like their own abstract, own game that has things that they can build on. It is so cool. I'm also going to build in, I haven't done yet, I'm going to build in a CI/CD pipeline with hooks. I want to get a basic kind of elastic, like a Kubernetes cluster that can branch out, just starting off with one container that can kind of branch out with hooks that you can kind of trigger through this system. But that right now, since you have to deal with the whole AWS credits and everything, that's not top on my priority list. But once I get like students, because I'm a teacher, once I get students that are really like wanting to work with like AWS or whatever cloud service, we just set up whatever hooks necessary to kind of trigger their deployments and so forth. It's just like, that's what I want to do eventually. I just put that down as kind of like a roadmap type of thing. And then when I'm kind of building these things out, I'm kind of building them out. I didn't really document all of how I build everything out yet, but it's pretty straightforward. If I look at this package JSON, I can show you. I just run pm because it glitched in the terminal. It glitched. Like if I go over here to the terminal, it glitched. And let me just clear this. I have it so big. Let's just say I did want to do a build. I could just say I wanted to build the engine. Well, the engine is going to take longer. Let me just do it really fast. It's not going to take too long, but it'll take longer. I'm going to go pm run, and let me just do game prod for production. Watch this. Done. And what did it do there? What did it do when I just did that? I did pm run game prod. What did it do? It did the roll-up bundling, and then after it did the roll-up bundling, it ran these kind of other scripts, these 4 other scripts that basically were copying files from one directory into another one. And then it was refreshing this terminal in order to force the glitch project, the parent glitch project, to update. That's something you have to do at glitch, is you need to do a refresh after you kind of edit things from the terminal. But so fast, it's just, so it built the whole thing, rolled it all up, copied a bunch of files. So why would it copy files? Well, I wanted to keep track of, also I want to have like distribution. So over here, I got this is all really nicely organized. So in the dist folder, I have a folder for the version number. I have also a folder for the latest. So every time you publish, whatever the version is set to, over here it will create a folder and publish in that folder for the version. And then it will also, if it's a production build, it will also put it in the latest build over here. And then it also copies it. If it's in production, it'll copy it over to the into the public folder. And if it's not production, it'll copy the relevant things into the staging folder. So it copies things all around, nicely organized. And look at that, really easy to understand. This is where the automation is going to be kind of explained eventually. This is the dist folder, distribution folder, the docs. I haven't done anything in the docs yet, but eventually I want to really document how to use the library, or how to use how people can use this project if you wanted to actually contribute to the overall libraries, the modules involved, or just people that just simply want to use the engine without the server, or people that want to use the engine and the server. If you use the server, obviously you're going to need to use the engine. But I did not do that documentation yet. I know, right? It'd be nice if that was just done automatically. Yeah, and then so this server folder right here is just literally for the server that's running the development and production situations there. It's still the same one, development and production. It's just different endpoints. So it's not like I'm running them on different services or different clusters or anything. They're just all running from here right now. But just still, I am so cool, so chilled out with this. I'm so happy with this. And then you got the source code, you got the engine area, the game area, the server area, right? So if you're just a game developer, I'm gonna eventually just make another project for people that simply want to work with the game engine. Eventually, after I work this system up a little bit more, I'll get another glitch project that makes it really easy, kind of guides them through how to work with the APIs of the engine and so forth, just to make a game without even having to look at the source code for like the engine and the server, not even having that around. Yeah, eventually I'm going to do that, and eventually, yeah, right. Then I'll make it, and I'd like to make like an Electron app as well that literally has like drag and drop UI, has all kind of cool stuff, just for designing games. Just a really cool system. But hey, we're not there yet. Got to start somewhere, right? So I'm very happy with where it's at right now. It is so fast, and that's going to be always something. Like, I'm lazy loading stuff if you're not using it. I'm reaching out, obviously, in the game engine. I have kind of like lazy loading scripts, and then firing off, basically whenever those promises resolve, whenever it's fetched. Got some really cool things incorporated in this, and let's just watch that one more time. Little example, just one. There it goes, bingo. Oh wow, incredible. Bingo. I am so stoked. If you want to get involved in this project, please reach out, because it's going to be crazy cool. Can't wait till summer. I can spend a lot more time on this. Take care.